Hello everyone, welcome back to our walkthrough. We are on episode 3 of our walkthrough again. I am Jada, and thanks for tuning in. Last episode we did the Waypoint Ruins Cellar, and we did the gatefront area, and kind of just progressed all the way down the map. We started a quest for Arena. Arena has tasked us with coming down here to Castle Mourne and delivering a letter to her father. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that now. So let's go to this Castle Mourne lift here. Before we get started, let's just do a quick overview. We are utilizing the longsword for now. I have not leveled up my weapon at all. We have the heater shield, which has 100% physical damage negation, and we're using just kind of a mixture of armor that we've picked up along the way. We are level 13. We've put all of our points so far into Vigor. We're going to take that up to level 20 and just kind of decide as we go what weapon we might want to use. I'm going to start collecting some weapons at this point as we progress. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started on these ruins. Take the elevator up here. Apparently something died. Oh, should I level up? Yeah, I should probably level up. Alright, let's go back down. I don't know what died. That's interesting. I did not spend my runes from killing the previous boss, which was a pumpkinhead. That's why we have a decent amount of runes here. Let's go ahead and just level up here. As new players probably want to be spending your runes quite often. We need like 500 to level up again. So I could go ahead and use some stuff here. Let's use a Golden Rune 2. And so now we need 145, so if we use Golden Rune 1, should have enough to level up again. Again, if you're not at the same level as me, don't worry about it. It's not a huge deal. At this point, I know personally that I'm going to want a couple points in endurance so that I have some stamina. So I'm going to put like 1 point in endurance. And then I'm probably going to want to start taking some of these stat points for strength or dex or faith up after that. But for now, we're just going to put the point in endurance. If you want to do some extra leveling, you can put more points in health or whatever you want. You're pretty safe to take health all the way up to like 40 is the next breakpoint, and then 60 is the next breakpoint after that. But you are going to probably want some damage points, so think about that as well. What kind of weapon you might want to use. This here, Golden Effigy, this is a summon pool. Anytime you see these, you can summon friends in this statue. Alright, so Castle Mourne, I'm going to get my shield out. We're going to sneak. A lot of enemies here. There are 2 dogs here. So what I like to do is take care of this dog first. And then we're going to sneak up on this other dog. Okay, and now we're going to get 1 more Smithing Stone 2. So again, as a recap, at this point you should have 8 of the Smithing Stone 1 and 3 of the Smithing Stone 2. We need 12 of each. If you know what weapon you want to use, you could go ahead and level up your weapon. And you notice we have the summon sign here, so you could summon your dogs if you wanted to, but I'm going to go the more sneaky route. So there's 2 paths. You can go up the right side or up the left side. We're going to end up going up both sides at some point, but I'm going to start off going up this right side. I'm just going to sneak around these enemies here. You can grab this smoldering butterfly if you want. and then we're just going to kind of sneak behind and hopefully not get seen. There is an item right there. If you get that item, you will attract the enemy's attention. It is not important, I assure you. So if you snuck successfully, no one should be following you. And now you can come into this room. Alright, in this room, you get another really solid weapon, the Claymore. So, the Claymore is going to require 16 strength. It does 138 plus 55. Quite a bit more damage than our current weapon. And it comes with Lion's Claw on it. Just to demo that really quickly, it does require 16 strength, but we have 14, so if we two-hand it, just to show you what it does, this Ash of War is really good. And I would consider using this for our weapon. We're going to sneak up here. Let's just kill one of these guys. And now the other one, watch this Ash of War. It is really solid. So I would consider using that for our primary at this point. And I'll actually use it for a little while just to show it off a little bit. I think this is one of the nicer starting weapons. It's got a good range on it. I personally really like the straight sword, but if you wanted to use something with a bit more range, the Claymore is a nice addition. And it does a bit more damage at this point if you're don't have an upgraded weapon. Alright, so we got kind of a little war going on here. So we can kind of let these guys kill each other if you wanted to. As you can see, it is quite good. Heal up. And again, I can only use this two-handed. I don't have the stats to use it one-handed. But as you can see, it's devastating. That is not a guaranteed drop. Alright, so finger remedies, we've already talked about those a little bit. This is also not a guaranteed drop. There's a couple more enemies back here. Alright, so like I said, for this area, and I'm not going to be using a summon. Oh god. Keep on up. If you die, you die. Not a big deal. Back onto my desk here. Not a big deal. So one of the things about this castle is if you think you're going to die a few times, you can send the elevator back down, so you don't have to wait on it. I am going to use this Claymore for a while. I kind of like it. I think it's a solid weapon, and I want to show it off a little bit. Lion's Claw is an Ash of War you can get later on and put on other weapons if you want. Alright, so we're going to let that button reappear, and then we're going to just kind of walk over it. Send the elevator back down, so if you die again, it'll be there. Alright, now we don't have to worry about the dogs over there. We already got the item. So we're just going to kind of walk past these. Get the butterflies if you want. They are used for, I think, fire pots. Not a bad idea to pick a couple of them up if you want to make some fire pots later. Okay, back into the castle. Really good. Ash of War there. Make our way back up the ladder here. And as I was saying, if you're not going to summon, you can take the summons off, and you put the kukris back on if you want. Give these guys a second to do what they do. Charge these archer guys so they don't mess us up again. Alright, we found a crossbow. That is not a guaranteed drop. Get your runes back. So you can see the Claymore has a pretty good stagger. Knocking these guys back pretty well. Don't forget about your charged attacks, they are worth utilizing. Alright, top off your health if you want. Back here there is a torch. So I didn't buy a torch, you can actually get a steel torch right here. Actually a better torch than the one you would have bought. And then, well, we got some gauntlets. Let's take a look at the gauntlets. And these are worse than the ones we have. So normally your armor gets better as it goes down. Not always. Poise is the main thing that we're looking at. We currently have 40 poise. With the helmet, we go up to 47. So ideally you're shooting for to eventually get to around 60 poise. Ideally. Alright. That's everything here. So that's where we climbed up. Down there. That's where we got our torch. We're going to now make our way up this ladder. Now if you didn't die, you might have less runes than me. Don't worry about it. I don't think there's anything back here. Alright, we're just going to drop onto this roof. And one of these guys is going to come and I'll run in. So if you took the other path, you would end up coming up this ladder here. So that is the other side. Just to kind of show you what's over here. Kind of show you the full circle here. Let's go ahead and just top off our health. You could come up behind this guy from the back and not have to fight him head on. There is a pumpkin head right here. So this is the bottom where you came up. Sneak around here. I'm going to just kill this pumpkin head. Pumpkinhead can drop his helmet and sanctuary stones. And then back here you've got another smithing stone times 3. So now we look at our inventory, we're at 11 and 3. So one more smithing stone and we can fully upgrade our weapon to the to +5. If we want to. And normally I would recommend you to go ahead and upgrade your weapon as you go. I wasted a flask on accident. And you definitely could. If you are set on using a straight sword, the Claymore, you could upgrade your weapon at this point to +4. I think the maximum you can do at that first little smithing table is to +3. Alright, so we want to make sure we get our kukris out for those birds that are past this one. Well, let's just draw this one over. A little jump attack. Kill that one. And now let's get... These things are kind of annoying. Get back to our healing. It's one of the reasons I like the Claymore, because with the jump attack you got a pretty good range. And you see I have no blue, but I can still use the move. It doesn't do as much damage. So Golden Rune 2. So perspective, there's the entrance. There's the item that we didn't get. Went around, came up. Ended up over here. Alright, so the letter that we need to deliver has got to be delivered to a guy that's up there. But when you deliver it to that guy, he says he can't leave until you've cleared out the stuff in the castle. What he really means is he can't leave until you kill the boss of the castle. So we're going to just kind of go ahead and do that. So once you drop down here, you cannot get back up. You will have to warp and go through the castle again. That's okay. Touch our grace. Rest. All the enemies have now respawned, but we can't go back up anyways. Alright, so at this point we need to start figuring out what we want to do with our levels. I'm going to start putting some points into strength, because most of the weapons that I am drawn towards are going to use strength. So I put 1 point into strength, and again, this requires 16, but I'm using it two-handed, so it's okay. Alright, so from here, like I said, you can't jump this wall, right? So the only way to go is down. So that's where we're going. Gonna drop down, drop down. There is a hole over there that you can drop down, but we're not going to go that way. We're going to go this way. So ultimately, out there where that tree is at, that's where we're making our way. There's a boss over there. So we're going to just kind of edge off here and jump and edge. There you go. And we're going to get the stone sword key. So that should give us, I think, 3 or 2 or 3. We have 2. Okay. There's a bunch of enemies down here. We're just going to drop off. Alright, so those slimes right there, we're not going to worry about. We are going to sneak up on this, guys. Kill that one, sneak up, kill this one. Come back for that one over there. So if you came up the top area, you would drop down in here. Right here. Alright, there's an enemy over here. We'll just sneak up on him, kill him. You're not missing any loot by coming this way versus going that way. If you don't get that item on the ledge, you know, you're missing a stone sword. So that's a random drop. And then here we get a pickled turtleneck, and you get kind of hit with the blob. So if you mash some buttons, you'll get out quicker. This is why I said we're not going to mess with those guys. Just be careful. These guys are weak to fire, but I'll show you a little bit. You are. Look how little damage you do to those things. That's why I'm not messing with them. Alright. So come out here. Kind of get away from those guys. There's a ghost there you can talk to. But he really is, he's not important. A little bit of lore if you want to talk to him, but nothing major. Alright. So, we're going to get past this thing. We'll go into hiding mode now. These guys up here are quite dangerous, so be very careful. And we're in Lion's Claw. And miss. Back up. Item swing. Lion's Claw again. Get close. Lion's Claw again. Should be dead. Those guys hit really hard, so be careful. Get your butterflies, and we're going to go up this ladder. And then around the back, we get our first talisman in this treasure chest, a Twinblade Talisman. So, it goes in this talisman slot here. Enhances the final hit of chain attacks. We're going to go ahead and equip it. We don't have anything better to put on. At this point you can take the kukris off. You can put the summons back on if you want to for the boss fight. I'm not going to put them on because I'm not going to use summons, but you definitely can if you want. I'm going to assume that you are not using them and show you how to fight without them. So we're just going to kind of come over here and go down this roll off. onto the ledge of the roof. Walk around to this side where the tree is at, and we'll fall off. And then there's an item here. Now you'll see around this corner there's a scarab. This is a health scarab. So if you are low in your healing flasks, that will refill your healing flask. The blue ones will refill your FP. So jump. And we'll go around to the side of the roof here. And jump. Now this one, make sure you don't land in that hole, so we're going to kind of walk this way. And then what we're going to do is kind of just drop down carefully onto this beam. Get this item, so that should be smithing stone number 4 for smithing stone 2. Alright, we're going to walk back to the middle. Kind of get yourself lined up and drop. Now you'll notice there's a whole bunch of enemies down here. What we want to do is we want to end up going out that door that direction, right? But we're going to try to take out this one enemy right there. As you can see, you will get surrounded, so we want to go out the door. So we can kind of funnel them. And that way you're not surrounded by all of these rats. Heal up. Alright. There's a grace right over here. You could just jump down and run to if you want it. Inside of here, there is a weapon. It's a whip. So you get the whip. And then here's your grace. So at this point, you can go ahead and rest. Spend your runes if you got enough to level up. If you don't, not a big deal. I'm about 500 short. I probably don't have enough to do anything with that. You could kill those rats again if you wanted to. Across the bridge, there are 2 enemies and a small item. That item is not important, but I will show you because we have a grace right there. That is a scary enemy, right? So we want to take him out. As you can see, he took half of our life with one hit. And you did all of that. What did you get for your trouble? Some throwing daggers. So, if you don't want to mess with those for the throwing daggers, you can come off the bridge and you can go straight to the boss room. You can also climb down this ladder if you want. There's a bunch of jellyfish you could kill. They don't aggro you as long as you don't hit them. Back in this corner back here, there is a giant crab. We're going to run around the crab and you get this item in the back here, which is Empire Arrows. You can get around the crab if you want. Kind of fight him in a little bit better area. That ledge over there that you see at the edge of the water is death, so. As you can see, our weapon is not really doing much to Mr. Crab. Our weapon is not leveled up in any way. Oof. Mr. Crab almost killed me. Be careful, the little babies will attack you too. For that you get crab eggs, so not really anything of importance. You can kill the babies if you want. As you can see, I have no health. But I am really close to leveling up, so I could like go kill some stuff and level up. But for now, what I will do instead, I don't want to risk dying, because my health is incredibly low. I'm just going to go back and we'll rest and let all these enemies respawn. Again, you do not have to kill the crab. That is not a big deal. Rest. Alright, so I'm going to just pretend like I didn't level up so you can see. And again, you could go back to that smithing table and you could level up your weapon if you want. I'm not going to do that because I don't know what weapon I want to use. If you wanted to, let's see, I wanted to get a little bit more to get the experience to level up, I would probably just kill this. As you can see, they get angry. And they only drop like 16. Like, it's not a lot, right? But you could kill all these if you want it. I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to go into the boss room. And if you're having trouble with this boss, I recommend going and leveling up a weapon. Maybe farming that Gatefront Ruins a bit would be another ideal. Get some more levels. This boss is not too bad. He's a little aggro. You could summon here as well. Be careful. Find a good opening to heal if you need to. If you die, you die. You're right here by the boss, right? So I just kind of want to show that off just a little bit so you can see the run back is not hard from this boss, right? I am also going to switch back to my longsword because I like the longsword a lot. The damage on the longsword is not great. But again, I do not have to kill any of this stuff. I can just drop right here. Just be sure you don't fall in the jellyfish, they will get angry. And there's our runes over there, we will get those. And you can, again, you can level up your weapon. Alright. I'm not going to worry about my runes because it's not a big deal if you lose them. But, because I feel like some people might struggle a little bit on this fight. I could show you how to level up your weapon a bit more, but I really would like to... In fact, let's assume that you're having trouble with this boss. This is a good point of reference. We need one more smithing stone, right? We don't have to continue to fight this boss. I am going to accept my rune loss, right? Because they're inside the room. So let's say you died twice, you lost your runes. No big deal, right? So we're going to kind of make our way. So what we want to do is we're going to go get some upgrades, make our life a little easier. So we can go here, and then we're going to kind of come up here, and we're going to go to this, and then we're going to go, oh, kill this rat. Yeah, so we'll go over here and we'll make our way to this on our next episode. So that's the plan. So we're going to start our next episode right here on the Castle Mourne. I'm going to show you guys how to get a few more upgrades to make your life a little easier if you're having trouble with this boss. So we'll go ahead and warp to Castle Mourne. Don't worry about if you killed the boss. You're not missing anything. And, thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow. If you have any questions, drop them in comments. If you have anything that you want to see, maybe like recommendations for builds, things like that, I can answer questions as well. But we'll pick up right here next time, guys. Thanks for tuning in.